There it is. Sorry, I was having trouble finding my mic mute button. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. Welcome to Mondays with Max, where we talk about, I don't know, just about anything. It's a Monday. It's a Monday. And it's definitely a Monday. Had a little bit of a weekend hangover today. Rough day, rough weekend for my my sports teams, but we'll go into that in a second. Let's see who is here. We have Lestadog C57, who was the first person that guessed my little trivia question correctly. Nas City, thank you for being a member, appreciate it. Mr. Peaceful, Mad Investor, Vinny Del Greco, thank you for being a member, and all my members. Nick the Legend. Let's see who else is here. Automatic Beats, 10 minutes to midnight. Red Jasper Kane. I have not seen you here before. Welcome. Let's see who else. Frogman, Steven Cicero, the one and only Red Panda Mining is here. This is what we live for. See, I did that like a movie, entry. Anyway, thanks for being here, Panda. Integra Guy. Nick the Legend, if I didn't already say him. I thought I saw him earlier, but maybe not. Let's see. Who else? Bell Miner. Yusuf Putz. 10 minutes to midnight. D White. Black Hat Team. Nope. And it jumps some more people. Let's see. Anybody else? Lukewarm Miner. Chump Change is here. Jean-Francois. The Veteran Miner. Good to see you, sir. Thanks for the wires. We'll show those off in a little bit, because I did not have a chance to actually put him in the actual unit, unfortunately. So I still have him here, and we'll go over why. But anyway, let's talk a little bit about my weekend. Man, the Illini were down 35 to 3.5. Joker's. Did I see Joker? I did not see Joker. Joker's an Illini fan as well. Man, that was rough. And then the Bear game. Anybody who heard about it or is into NFL, is into sports or into the NFL, you would have heard about this game, because it was won on a 60-yard Hail Mary because somebody was stupid. But yeah, Tyler Stevenson. I can't think it was Tyler is his first name. Anyway, wasn't where he was supposed to be. Yeah, it's a rough weekend for sports. Rough weekend. And then today, I get a letter. See, this is good news, bad news, actually. Get a letter in the mail that says my homeowner's insurance was past due. I'm like, it's on auto pay. How the heck could it be past due? Well, I guess evidently the credit card, I had forgotten that I'd gotten a new credit card. This is quite a while ago that I got a new credit card. So I don't know why all of a sudden it stopped taking it, but it stopped taking it just at the time that I renewed. So anyway, so I got all that straightened out. All's good. But then I looked at the premium and I was like, are you kidding me? I'm in Illinois and I'm almost paying $3,500 a year for homeowners insurance. That is insane. Insane. I live in a 2,000 square foot house. It's a nice house. Like my house. Love my house. But it's not worth insuring it for $3,500. No special coverages other than sump backup for $20,000. That's usually an extra like $100, $150 a year. That's it. So anyway, I have made a few phone calls, found out my old agent is now with his own agency, so he has more things he can quote, which is good. So hopefully he'll be able to find anything, but I'm sure everybody's probably found that insurance has probably been, you probably have seen that insurance has been going up. Lukewarm Miner, $2,500 for your Cali home. Homeowners up 40%. Yeah. Well, yeah, mine's up 50%. But even before it was too high, it was $2,100. Now, part of the problem may be because I just had a claim. I had a claim, it was about a year ago, but it was within the last policy period. So I don't know. We'll see how that works out. We'll find out. But I am glad at least the car insurance isn't too bad. It's like $140 a month for our 2 cars. But I'm hoping I can save some money on that as well. But we'll find out. But yeah, that was yeah, I mean, you find out that so if your home is uninsured and you have a mortgage, then your mortgage company is going to be like, okay, we're going to buy the most outrageous insurance to make sure your home is insured, and you're going to end up paying it. That's what ends up happening. I'm surprised that that's not how I found out. But evidently Travelers had not like officially cut off my policy yet. So that was why. But I had until like November 12th to pay it if I wanted to. But I was like, no, let's just get this done. Get her done. So I'm paid through December 2nd, and then probably will start, if I can find one that's less expensive, I probably will start a new policy December 2nd. So we'll see. We'll see. And then I got to make sure I get that over to the mortgage company. Otherwise, they're going to try to take out insurance on my behalf. Anyway, that's kind of what been the goings on today. And that's why I was kind of a little bit late and was trying to prepare, and I had done all this stuff after work. So that's why I didn't have a chance to work with the cables and do all the things that I had planned to do when I got home. And I had a lot of things I planned to do because the rest of the week, probably going to be doing a lot of car traveling, as I'm going to a different building, and that building is probably an hour and 15 minutes away from my house. So it's going to take me a while. Plus, I have to drive to work tomorrow to be there for an hour and then drive to this other building that's the opposite direction from my house. So that's probably going to be an hour 45 for me to get there. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of driving. But hey, chump, I'll be able to listen to that video you sent me. I was thinking about that just right after I sent that message to you. So anyway, that's what's going on there. So let's have a little bit of fun. Let's look at the market. It is teetering on the sorry, that's what I'm looking for. It is teetering. Oh, why is it doing this? You guys cannot see the price. That's no good. That's no good. That's a little better. Okay. So yeah, we're at 69.9. Oh man, are we going to go back over 70,000? Is it got the momentum? I would jump up on my chair if it hit 70,000 again, but I'd probably break it and probably break myself in the same stroke. So, yeah, what is it good for? Anyway, so yeah, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on this today, but yeah, it's nice to see that that Bitcoin is almost to 70,000. So it's definitely seen. See, it was showing momentum last week, and then they had that tether FUD. That is what really just tanked it. And then we kind of had a stable day on Saturday, and then it started showing some life on Sunday, and now it's continuing to show life today. So I really feel like, this is its moment. And I feel like we're really going to have a good November. But I was wrong last week because I wasn't expecting the tether FUD on Friday. But yeah, who knows? There could be some other FUD that comes out that might pause the market next week. We'll see. We shall see. All right, let's see where everything else is at. Let's go to the watch list. Oh, I wasn't logged in, and I'm not going to log in while I'm on stream. So let's just walk through it this way. So Ethereum actually is still down in the last 7 days. It's 25.90, not bad. Solana up at 177, almost 178. That is amazing. As I do have a bunch of that is now staked. Let's see what else. And actually even XRP, it's down like 4.5% over the week. Isn't too bad. Definitely Dogecoin has seen a big jump of about 15%, 18% today, but 15% in the last 7 days. And we got Cardano that just continues to be down in the dumps for some reason. There was some news about it enabling Bitcoin transactions. I saw something over the weekend as I was going through, going down the hole basically. But yeah, I'm continuing surprised that Cardano has not started to come out of it. I mean, it's up, 2% today, which isn't bad. Shiba showing some life. Avalanche, again, another one similar to Cardano. It's just, I don't know. They just don't seem to be doing a lot. That area, all the competitors to Ethereum, Chainlink down 5% over the last 7 days. Polkadot down about 5% over the last 7 days. All seems to be kind of a running theme. Litecoin, I mean, you look at it, it's been pretty stable, but it's up to 71.25. I'll take that. That's been showing a nice little bump. I like that a lot. I did recently, I didn't pass it, did I? No, it's down a little further. Uniswap, doing okay. Bit and Soar, down 6.5% for the week. Sorry, I will never let you live that down, Jump Change. It's too much fun, especially knowing that you're here. This is one that I've invested in. FET, it's down 7.5%, but this is done well historically. So I'm really looking to see how this does in the bull market. That one and Index are two that I have invested in. I mean, we're talking small amounts, like $100. So not any big amounts of money, but just kind of keeping track of them, reinvesting my mining profits into Artificial Super Intelligence Alliance, recently known as FET. So I'll be looking to see how these do. Caspa's up to 12 cents. Not bad. Not bad. Still down 8.3 cents or 8.3% over the last week. Yeah, everything's kind of just meh. I mean, I'm glad we're seeing green today, no question. But when you look at it over the last 7 days, nothing's really like totally jumping out other than the ones that are down a lot. I know that there was a token that was moving from Immutable to Solana. So maybe that's what had an effect here. And my poor Filecoin down 6%. Still holding it. I have some faith that it will do something in the bull market. Let's see what else in the top 100. I don't think I hold anything else in the top 100. Oh, Jupiter I hold. It's up over $1. Sweet. So basically this thing was worth $1 per token when it first came out. So now at least it's above water. So not that it cost me anything when I got it. It was an airdrop. But yeah, that's nice to see. Very nice to see. Let's see if there's anything else. I hold, my gosh, I barely hold any helium. But it's not really doing a whole heck of a lot right now. I hold a little bit of Algorand, again, similar to your Ethereum competitors, all down about 5% for the week. Yeah, cat in a dog's world, jeez. Whatever happened to, I must have passed dog with hat, unless it really has fallen that much out of favor. And Polygon has just dropped a lot. I guess layer 2s haven't been doing so well. I don't know why, but man, I think I love Polygon. I just seems to not be warranted, but hey, maybe. Now this is interesting. BitTorrent. Huh. Instead of Tau. I don't know. Anyway, unless I'm confusing it with something else. Core. Interesting. I didn't realize that this was in the top 100. This was, I wasn't even planning on talking about this, but if you want to make a few quick bucks, go to your Coinbase account and go to Coinbase Learning. And right now there's like $28 available through things you do through Aleo. Now you won't probably get to keep it all because you got to do some other things with it. But I mean, I made an easy $10 or $15, somewhere in that range, while I still have like $11 in this other Leo wallet, which sucks. That wallet is horrible. It won't sync. But hey, it's an easy way to make a few bucks. Core was the same thing. If you haven't been there in a while, Core may still be available as a course you can take. So yeah, I added some extra cash to my Coinbase wallet, and that's also what partially went into Index and FET. Let's see what else. That top 100. Nothing else to me. Let's see. Let's take a look at some ones that have really fallen. One is Flux. Last time I saw it was 47 cents. It's 48 cents now. Ouch. That one's really fallen. Let's see where Neox is at. Yeah, 0.0007 cents. Up 0.02% today. It's better than being down, I guess. But if you look at, let's take a look at 1 year. 0.002 down to 0.0007. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good at all. Down almost 70% for the year. Yeah, but my node still keeps making money, so I'll keep it going. I will keep it going and hope that it comes back. All right, let me go back. What else do we want to look up? Let's look up Nexa. I have no idea where that's at. Oh, let's see where it is over the last month. Yeah, typical. Most like altcoins are going down, 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 except for a select few. Let's see. I don't look up that coin, Gaming with Smoky Dan, because I feel like it'll get me in trouble. Yeah, Doge is ripping, Tommy Coin. Department of Government Efficiency, yes. Hey, you know what? That'd be a good department, that's for sure. Caw Valley Crypto, welcome, sir. Smash the like, bros. Appreciate you guys being here. And I don't think I said anything about Gaming with Smoky Dan or Dom G. Thank you guys. Anybody else that I missed, I apologize. All right, well, that was somewhat uneventful. Let's go back to what's more interesting, which is Bitcoin. It fell a little bit. I'll have to keep an eye on it. Maybe it'll hit 70 before the end of the stream. We shall see. Got another 40 minutes approximately before I end the stream. All right, well, let's talk about some of the things. So I meant to I actually wanted to go do video so I could share pictures and things like that with you when I'm talking about this, but I didn't have a chance to do it. So I have an 8 GPU rig that is a mishmash, but it has 2 Founders Editions in it. Okay. I have 3 Founders Editions that I just bought. Founders Editions are shorter in both ways, both in the height of the card and the length of the card. So they fit really nicely into the Octominer. Oh, and they're narrower, so more air can get through. So my plan is to put almost all Founders Editions in the front of the case, and then the back of the case. I'm probably going to put, I'm still debating whether I'm going to put, the problem is in the Founders, in the Octo server, that the first card is literally right up against the wall, and the wall is solid. There's no holes in that wall to let any air through. And on a Founders Edition card, you have solid side. So it's expecting blow through or blow through the front. So the front fan blows into the card and out the front, while the back one blows right through the heatsink. So blowing right through the heatsink, not very effective when it's right next to a wall. So I feel like the cooling on that type of card is not going to do very well at all being right up against that wall. Now, if it's in the back, at least it has, free air, nothing pushing hot air into it. It's still up against a wall, but actually against that wall, there are some holes in that wall. So what I'm thinking is I'll leave the first card in there, which is a gigabyte, leave that one in there, and then make the next 4 all Founders Editions, and then the one Founders Edition in the back. I don't know if I'm going to do all of that once. I'm going to put the 3 Founders Editions in the Octo server, and then that will basically have me taking one GPU out. And that GPU, actually, let me show you this. This will probably make it a little bit simpler. So right now, this top one is my Octo server, and it can take 6 4090s. Okay. So, and right now it's got 4. Here, let me actually lessen this a little bit. There we go. It has 5 in there, but only 4 are currently rented. I'm hoping that if I put a 6th one in there, I can then say rent 2 at a time. That hopefully will make it a little bit easier to rent those last 2 cards. I've actually had one person rent all 5 with one instance. I think you can do that through the API, but if you're doing it through the user interface, the graphical user interface, and that's where you're renting from, you're only going to be able to do 1, 2, 4, or 8 size rigs. And I believe that there's another multiple higher above 8, but those are the typical ones. So again, I have this 8. These are all on 8 PCIe lane slots. And then this one I have a 3090 in. Well, I'm going to change this. I'm going to take the 4090 out of my Clore rig, and I'm going to swap it out. I'm going to put a 3090 in there, and I'm going to put that 4090 in VAST, because I have a pretty good idea how much I can make with VAST. It's pretty predictable. So that's what I'm going to try, because it's verified. If it wasn't verified, that would be a different story, but because it's verified. So I'm going to have, at the end of moving things, I will have 15 4090s on VAST. And that will be should be a nice general paid admin, making around $500 a week, somewhere around that. When I say make, that doesn't take power into account, which it does vary depending on what it's on. Like right now, this 8 GPU rig, this is a typical temp. It's a lot of idle. I love this job. I just keep extending it, and they keep on it. So as long as I don't take it down. So this one I'm probably not going to touch until I do the panel upgrade, which we'll talk about that in a little bit, because I do have some updates on that. But this one, I think I can pick up a job relatively quickly. I think if I make the change fast enough, they won't drop off, but they might, and then I'll just have to deal with it. But I really want to get this last one on, so that there's 6 in here, and I want to get this one on a 4090. Right now, this one is only mining. I didn't want to allow another job to go on it. I was supposed to get these wires on Saturday, but U.S. Postal Service, not so good. In fact, today it was kind of funny. We know our postman. He's been our postman for a really long time. So I'm like, wait a minute. He was already here, right? And she's like, my wife's like, yeah. I'm like, I was supposed to get something. Did he drop off any packages? She's like, yes. I said, yeah, but he didn't drop off mine. I know this one. And I'm looking at the tracking information. And I said, he didn't drop off this one. So then I literally hopped in the car and drove around the neighborhood, and I found him, and I pulled in front of him, and I'm sure he's like, who is this crazy guy? Especially like, I'm putting myself in his mind. Okay. His thoughts. Being that it's very close to the election, being that he picks up mail, being that a guy pulls directly in front of him so he can't go to the next mailbox, I think he's wondering like what the hell's going on. If he was packing, I might have been in trouble. Anyway, he recognized me. So I went up to him. I said, you sure you don't have another package? He's like, I didn't think so, but yeah, let me go check. And he like checks in the back, and then he's like, oh my gosh. He's like, yeah, I know exactly where it is. He was right next to him. He had missed it and he was going to go back and deliver it. He just didn't put 2 and 2 together that was my address. So anyway, plus it was addressed to max voltage. So that's another reason why he didn't put it together with our real names. So yeah, is what it is. But I did get it. So without further ado, there's the wires. I already have them hooked up to, oh, what am I doing? Let me change to that. That'll be easier. So I already have them hooked up, but basically these are the wires. Okay. Now what makes these wires special? Well, of course they're made by Veteran Miner. Of course they're special, but in this particular case, they're extra special. So this end is just standard PCIe. Okay. But this end, and I know Veteran Miner's here, so I'm going to say it. They're reverse EPS. Okay. On a regular EPS pinout on these, the 3 power goes on this side, goes on the clip side. So basically it's reversed pinout of what you would normally expect on an EPS plug. Now, he hates that term because there are other power supply suppliers or manufacturers that also use the reverse EPS. So there really isn't, even though there is a standard, there's not a standard. So you just have to determine which pinout of the EPS is yours. And that's what he was looking for. And he had made these prior for another project with Flux. So he had these left over. So he was nice enough to send them to me. Now I bought some other cables from him that I now can't use because I told him the wrong thing. But hey, I appreciate it. You are 1 in a million there, Veteran. I appreciate it very much. So after the show, I'll definitely be using this to get the GPUs going and make some changes, because I know I won't have any time to do it tomorrow, probably not the next day. And I don't want to wait until Thursday to do it. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll wait until tomorrow to do it and hope I get home at a decent time. And yeah, so that's what's going on there. So again, it's a lot of flippity floppity around. This 8 GPU is not getting touched right now, but one of the, so the 4090 that's coming from the Clore rig, that one will come out, go into this, and the extra one that I haven't put in anything. In fact, it's sitting right here. That one, had it for a week and it's been sitting, it's been killing me. But I needed those cables and I thought I had the right cables. So that's why it's been sitting. But anyway, that one and the one from the Clore rig will go into the Octominer. I will take that one out, and that one will, one of the ones, so probably one of the, yeah, it'll probably be one of the gigabyte ones that I take out just because that will make the most sense. And that will go into this rig, and then that 3090 will go into the Clore rig. I want to see if I can actually get something rented on Clore. Obviously, a lot of people rush to Clore, and it's a little bit harder to get rented. It's a lot harder to get rented. So that's what's going on there. The other thing that I wanted to show was Salad. So Salad today, I've been doing really well. Pretty consistent, right around 1275 a day, 0.13 every 15 minutes throughout my 7 cards, which is basically rented 4 to 5 of the cards. I've got 7 cards mining. There were 2 3060 Ti's that really hadn't been doing much for a while. But what ended up happening is right about here, Salad came out and did the message and said, You have to be on 1.7 in order to have container jobs. So that's why it fell off. And really, they put the announcement out right about here, right around 2:30, but they had obviously implemented it before that. And I had a number of them that hadn't upgraded yet because they had jobs and I didn't want to interrupt them. So ended up that I updated drivers and Windows and of course Salad. And now I'm getting more regular right around that 0.13. And you just got to get to the point where you get a steady job and then it stays steady. So yeah, I'm doing pretty well in Salad. I got no complaints. If you look at the statistics, I'm right about $300 a month now. That's not really $300 a month. If I was actually pulling $300 a month, that would be $330 because there's a $10.50 surcharge every time I cash out to PayPal. So that would need to be technically $331.51 in order to say it was $300. So not quite 3 $100 payments a month. This month will be close. I got one on the 8th, one on the 19th. So again, once about every 11 days. So 11 days means that I should get one right around the 30th. So this month should be one where I get one every 11, at least every 11 days. I like to get it to where it's every 10 days where I'm actually getting a payment every single time. But we'll see. We've had some bad times. Lately it's been pretty darn good. Like I said, today was kind of a down day, but even so, it's still about $10 a day. But that shouldn't happen for a while. At least not until the next time they have an update that they really want to push. And this was one that they really wanted to push. So, but anyway, I'm happy with it. All right, let me get to the comments. Oh, Veteran Miner. Yeah, no problem, man. We all appreciate you. I mean, I don't know if anybody who's gotten cables from Veteran Miner, but they're top notch. And he's a member of the community. He bends over backwards to do what you want. He's very detail oriented. Yeah, I wouldn't hesitate to recommend it to anybody that needs cables. But will there be any chump changes? I don't know what that was referring to unless you're talking about the rigs. Yusuf says, what motherboard is in the VAST machine? So the 8 GPU rig is an H12 Super Micro. And the other one, it's a Rome, it's an ASRock Rome board. But it's the one that comes in the Octo server. Let's see. Game of Smoking Net and Card Sitting. What and who do you think you are, Red Panda? No, DJ Mines. He's not even here to defend himself. But you remember when DJ Mines had all of those GPUs? It was insane. Insane. He was getting so many cards that he didn't know what to do with them. But yeah, those were the days. Those were the days. Those were the days where you didn't care what you paid for. I always cared. But a lot of people didn't care what they paid for GPUs because they know they would make it back. So it's more about how fast can you get the card so you make your money back on it, as opposed to waiting a couple extra months and getting it at a better price, where retail had something in stock. Panda's fifth leg. Good to see you, sir. Yes. Geek of all trades. Salad. Can't see what you're doing. Not sharing. Oh yeah, I guess I'm not sharing. Sorry. Oops. All right. Well, let me go back to that real quick. And here we go. Yeah, there's Salad. So let me scroll up so you can see it. You can see over here. It was good. Then it kind of went down a little bit. You get these every once in a while. Then it went back to normal and then it plummeted. And now it's back up. So you can't see the whole screen. I don't know why I don't have the whole screen on there, but here, I'll just do this real quick. Maybe, maybe not. Oh, so they got to do this. So you can see what the rest of it is. So I'm back up to that normal level. We'll see if it stays there. But generally what happens when you have these quick downs and then you have to recover by getting your jobs back, that you'll see that you'll get a short job and it'll drop back down. Then you catch another job and it'll drop back down, and eventually you'll get that steady job. So I expect to see these little dips or even big dips sometimes, before you've kind of hit that steady state. So, but I don't know. I have been pretty happy with Salad. I mean, I'm making 262 per day on a 3090. That is not great, but it's also not bad. If you break that out, it's greater than 10 cents per hour. And if you look at what you'd be making on a non-verified VAST, it's still making more than you make on a non-verified VAST, and it's on the low end of verified. So yeah, I think it's a fair price. And I'm at the point where, at least right now, seem to be always getting jobs on it. So definitely pretty happy with that. So sorry about not sharing that. And I think I shared the VAST, but that was before. In case you didn't see that, there's VAST. There's VAST. There's the one that I'm not renting, and then this one down here that I'm not renting. And then, like I said, I have the Clore rig. Let me bring this down here real quick. Hang on. Oh, because I changed to a 3090 from a 4090 because I wanted to see what the 3090s were making. And they really don't have a lot to go on, but I also have things selected very specifically in order to make sure that I could see my 4090 rig. So let me fix this. 4090, take away the 3090. And where is my rig? Right there. B550 DS3H AC. I'm at 50%. So the interesting thing about how Clore does reliability, because they do not have verified. They just have reliability. But that reliability is over the last 2 weeks, while VAST is like over the entire time you have been online with that machine. So the longer you're on it, the harder it's going to be to move that metric to be higher and higher. It'd be great if you get all yours to 99.9, but if you had any significant downtime earlier, it's almost out of the question. It's going to take forever to actually get it up to 99.9. Right now, I have a 99.8, 99.72. This one definitely had some problems early on, and I didn't reset the machine ID. And then my 3090 rig, that one's done pretty well. So that's why it's the highest reliability one. But this thing, like I said, this thing has just been running and running and running. I'm still surprised, but just because I had a lot of downtime earlier on. So my plan is when am I going to move around the GPUs? I'm going to move around the GPUs when I get the panel upgrade. So that is the plan. So with regards to the panel upgrade, the first guy came out, he was $4,500. I mentioned that last week. Second guy, same thing. So I called out to a guy that I had helped get a lot of business. Basically I gave him an Uber ride, and then he's gotten at least over $1 million worth of business, as a direct result of having met me because of the people I introduced him to. And then those people introduced him to somebody else, and yada, yada, yada. So I'm not saying he's indebted to me. I'm not saying that at all. But if I call, he's like, hey, it's a good story. We enjoy each other's company. It's, whatever. So I, told him what I was looking for, and he's like, yeah, I think I might have one of those panels already in here. I didn't tell him. I definitely told him, I said, I'm not in a huge hurry, but I would like to know, if I'm going to move forward with it. So let me know. So I'll bug him like once every 3 days, like, hey, any update, yada, yada, and see where it goes from there. But I don't want to push him like, I need it now, because this is an on the side job, not like something he's running through his business, I don't think. But yeah, I've worked with his electricians before, and they're good. So I'm not worried about that. So we'll see. we'll see. It's not really a hard job. I mean, the guys who came in said it wasn't a hard job. You know, the one, it's funny because the first guy that came in, he's like, oh, wait a minute, where's your water meter? And I'm like, it's on the other side of the basement. He's like, oh crap. I said, there's a conduit. He's like, really? And he's like, oh yeah. He like looked up and he saw where the wire went from the panel. And he's like, well, let me go look over there. And he's like, oh, yep, there's the conduit. He's like, yeah, this will be easy. So, there really isn't anything hard. It's very, very straightforward. You basically cut out the space above the panel. You take out the panel, you cut some space below the panel for the bigger panel, and you take out the 1-inch conduit. You take out the wire going to the meter to the panel, take out the 1-inch conduit, you put in the 2-inch conduit, and then you run the larger wires to handle the 200 amp through the 2-inch conduit, hook it up to the meter, hook it up to the panel after you install it, of course, and then start hooking up your circuits. Again, pretty straightforward. The guy said it'd probably take him 3, maybe 4 hours, as long as he didn't run into any issues. But yeah, he said it was pretty easy. I'll even tell him like, hey, don't worry about the Emporia. I'll reinstall the Emporia. But they may just want to do it just so that they can close it up. I know the one guy was like, yeah, we want to give you a bigger panel because you want some room for that Emporia. Because boy, in this size panel, that is not going to be fun. So as you could, if anybody that has seen that picture, you're probably wondering how the heck is that going to fit in there? So, but yeah, it'll be kind of cool because I'll be able to make sure that the Ethernet cable runs out. I might even have them route it like to the bottom of the wall, maybe. I don't know. I haven't really figured that out, as long as that's not too hard. So it's not like running directly across from the panel. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Right now I'm kind of in a holding pattern. All right, let's see. What else was I going to talk about tonight? We talked about Uptober. Oh, that was the other thing. Another thing I looked at, I've told you guys that I've been watching Network Chuck, and there's all kinds of like cool little projects that he does. He just did a project where it was Project Toilet Seat. And in his house, he has pets. So when somebody goes to the bathroom, they need to put the toilet seat down and close the door. Otherwise, pets will get into either the toilet paper and roll it into the actual toilet because of where it is. And well, it's where most people have their toilet paper. And you know, so toilet lid needs to be down just in case the door is open. Anyway, he made it so that using this home assistant is what he used. And through a whole bunch of other sensors, put a sensor on the toilet lid, put a proximity sensor across from the toilet so that it would sense whether somebody was at the toilet, so that if it wouldn't go off if the toilet seat was up and somebody was on it. And then obviously a sensor on the door. That was the first part. That was the first part of the equation, that if the toilet seat is up and or the door is open, then you guys do this. And what ended up happening was all the lights in the house started flashing red, and a video played on multiple TVs and would not stop until somebody solved the issue. So it was very clever. And it just basically showed like everything you could do with home automation. I haven't figured out anything specific that I want to do with home automation, but it really has intrigued me in trying to figure out something that I could make unique about the house, but also a valuable service, I guess, be the best way to put it. But what I'm working on now, and this is one of his more recent videos, I believe, was TwinGate. So a lot of people obviously have VPNs into their home. I do not have a VPN. I could put it on my Ubiquiti, but I like the idea of basically what TwinGate is the way I understood it is it's proxies with tokens. So the tokens provide the security and the proxies provide that each end service. So you have a connector at home, something that acts as the connector. In this case, going to put it on a Raspberry Pi. This one that's been sitting around from when I had Flux nodes, and now I run my Flux nodes on VMs. But so it'll make good use of that. It doesn't take much in the way of power, so that'll be good from that perspective. So that's the connector, and then all this runs through TwinGate, which is kind of like provides that connection, the smarts that basically takes the connector and the client and brings it up to the cloud at TwinGate and basically connects those tokens. It says, oh, you guys know each other. Well, let me introduce, well, you guys are familiar with one another. Let me introduce you to each other. You know each other. Now communicate. And that's when basically it happens. You can set up different clients to have access to different things. So let's say I wanted to give access to, let's say I had a Plex service on my NAS. I could give access to my son or my daughter, that would have access to that. They would just have to install the TwinGate client onto their computer and know the network that they were connected to. So it seems pretty easy. So I started setting it up, but I didn't really get stuck. I just got to the point where I got the Raspberry Pi software, the Ubuntu actually software on here. And I haven't actually hooked it up to monitors and keyboard yet to actually install Ubuntu. It's actually like the installation is on the the M.2 Sata M.2 stick. It has the installation on there, so it'll install and then it'll install it onto itself. So I won't be running off of an SD card on this one. I learned that actually if you do that and it's a Raspberry Pi 4 gig or higher, it will automatically default to the M.2 or a USB drive of some sort, as opposed to the SD card. As long as you don't have the SD card in, you have to make sure you take the SD, because it will default to the SD card if it's in. So, all right, let's see. Gaming with Smoking Dan, you forgot the most important part. Turn the power off first. I know. You know what? I don't want to say I have nightmares. I have to stop and think for a second. Remember, turn it off first. You're excited about plugging the thing in. Turn it off first. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. S. Chang says, what about the wire from the top of the house to the meter? Are they too? Oh, yeah. So our house was built back in 1993. In 1993, this whole neighborhood was run 200 amp from the transformer to the meter. So that's not a problem. They did check that. I already knew that because they were trying to convince us to go 200 amp. And I'm like, wait a minute. If they're trying to convince us to go 200 amp, that means everything in this neighborhood is going to be run 200 amp from the transformer to the meter. And then I realized that at that point in the 90s, when things were getting built, almost every part of the country was running 200 amp capable cables from the transformer to the meter. Now ours is all underground. So yeah, it doesn't go up to the top of the house and then out to a meter or anything like that. It just goes straight underground, which is why if we had to run new wires, that would be a pain. It's 135 feet. That was my estimation. I haven't actually measured it. I just know from the back of the house to the farthest point of the backyard, which is where the transformer is. In fact, technically the transformer is not in our yard. It's in our next door neighbor's yard, is 100 feet. Now you're running it around halfway up the side of the house and around. So, which is further away than, the straight shot to the back of the house. So I think 135 feet is a pretty good estimate. It might even be 150. And then you got to run under a sidewalk as well. Yeah, it would not be fun. So, and I do know that, I know Panda was encouraging me to go 400 amp, I would have to run 2 more wires, and the best way to go would be 2 200 amp boxes if I was going to do that. So I'm just going to start with 1 because that's the cheap way to go. And then eventually, if I want to expand, it'll probably be out back anyway. So I'll have to kind of figure that out. But that's what's going to even make it possibly could make it more expensive, because I don't think I can run directly from the transformer to an outhouse with like a brand new meter, out to a shed. But I haven't done that investigation. I've done preliminary investigation where I've seen most people say, no, you can't do it. We'll see. I have been known to influence people, and hopefully they will want to do it. But usually people at the village, yeah, they're not usually too open to suggestion and doing things differently. They have a set way of doing things. This is the way we've done it in the past, and it's the way we're going to do it in the future. So we'll see. Game of Smoking Dan says, wow, am older than your house. Plus my home is from Victorian area. Wow. I bet it's pretty. We actually, before we bought this house, we actually had a contract on like an English tutor, and, glad we didn't buy that house. We looked at it at night. Then when you looked at it in the day, it had some serious problems. And about 12 years later, somebody tore it down and built a McMansion on it, on the place, which we had kind of thought about doing, not tearing down the whole thing, but we thought if the bones were good, that we could just expand out the back. But yeah, this was not a house with good bones at all. Not at all. Eric Strider, make Max get the shed. Well, if I do get the shed, she'll probably get half of it. So it'll have to be a big shed. Or I could take over the small shed. The small shed's like 6 by 8. It's really tiny. 6 by 8. Yes, you heard that right. 48 square feet. And I will tell you that Sunflower Mama can pack that thing. So you're like, how the heck did she fit all that stuff in there? Yeah. Amazing. Let's see. What else did I miss? Bring back the background. No more green screen. Oh, you don't like the green screen? I like it. All right. Well, I see what you're saying. So yeah, I will switch to that since we're not really talking about that anymore. Wait, they built a Mc what? Okay, so we're in the Chicago area where McDonald's is. So when we say that somebody did a teardown and they built a McMansion. So that's because especially with where the teardowns were, which were near Oak Brook. So you had like Glen Ellen, Hinsdale, all these places around Oak Brook, which is where the I don't know if it still is, but that's where the McDonald's headquarters used to be. So I don't know if that's where it came from. I assume that's where it came from. But yeah, do a tear down and then you build this enormous house. A lot of times they'll buy 2 lots so that they can build a bigger house. And we call them McMansions. A McMansion. So I guess that cost a whopper. Wrong store. Aragorn says, instead of a shed, you'll have a wee shed. Instead of a she shed? Yeah, it'll be a wee shed. Yes, it will definitely be a wee shed. Red Panda cost me 47,000 USD to get 400 amp burial to your house. 2 times 200 amp panel and all new runs in the house. Okay, well, you had considerably more done. I was guessing it would probably cost somewhere in the range of 15,000 would be my guess. Maybe 20, but I wouldn't need new cables run except wherever I was having, and it wouldn't be in the basement. There just isn't. I'd have to poke holes in the walls and get more window wells if I was going to do that. I don't have like where I have like a ground level window, something like that. I don't have that. It's still blowing directly into a scoop to try to scoop the air out. That's 2 times circuits in each room to 15 amp and a 20 amp. Yeah, tons of power in your house. S. Chang says, my 4500 upgrade is new wire from the top of house to brand new meter box and like 40 feet to 200 amp panel. Yours should be much cheaper to do. Yeah, it should be. Now I understand something. Yeah, $4,500 for how easy this thing is. I just don't get it. I mean, it's like, I'm just not handy and I'm not comfortable with doing this. Is it something I probably could do? Yeah, but the problem is that the longer I'm down, the more money it costs me because we have no power. So that's what I'm saying. It's actually probably in the end cheaper to have somebody do it who knows what they're doing. So I'm down no more than a maximum of 5 hours. So like I said, I think this is going to be pretty darn simple. And I figure at that point, like I said, that's when I'll start moving anything I'm going to move around. Like I want to move the 8 GPU rig onto the rack. I want to move the Octo server onto the rack, consolidate it onto that rack, put some sides up on the rack so that it directs more of the air out. So I have some plans, but I need to get everything on the rack before I start doing that. Let's see. Any other questions? Oh, it's a Chicago thing. Yes, it is a Chicago thing. With the McMansion. Oh, Red Panda, I think he was single phase, just 400 amp. Just 400 amp, 240 volt, you know. Yeah, you wish 3-phase, yeah. Rizzo, good to see you, sir. Triple Nickel Technologies. Almost 71. Oh, really? I am slacking. I am so sorry. We hold on. Hold on. Hold, please. What did I do with it? There it is. I guess move this back up here and go over to here. 70,800. Woohoo! Yeah, baby. Keep going. Keep going. Up 4.7% for the week, which is pretty much even for the week until you hit today. 4.6% for today. Nice. Ethereum up the same amount. Oh, gotta love it. Dogecoin really pumping now, up 18%. Shiba Inu up 8%. God, these freaking meme coins. Just annoying. Avalanche up 4%. Yep. Sui, which I don't really know anything about. Aptos, I don't know anything about. Uniswap up 5%. That's good. All right. It's been an hour, actually. Trying to think if there was anything else to go over. I think that was pretty much the panel upgrade update. I told you about my plans for the mini. I can't even call it a farm because I don't really do much mining. I do a little bit of mining, but most of my mining is done in 2 Octo miners at Terra. So, which is running quite swimmingly. Very happy with that. Mining a Leo over there. But yeah, I'm getting somewhere between 7 and 8 a Leo. Obviously the price is down. Last time I checked, it was like $1.50. Obviously when I started mining a Leo, it was 5. All right, where did there's my mouse. Hate it when I lose my mouse. Let's see. $1.52. Just do a refresh, make sure it doesn't change. It should be dynamic. $1.55. $1.55. I have like $33 of a Leo right now. But index is up 14%. 14%. Again, I'm not hugely into it yet. I just have a little bit over 100. It started out at 100. Now it's like 100. Well, I started a little bit more than 100, but I think I started out at like 115. Now I'm up to 125 because I bought in kind of at the most inopportune points. Is like I went back and looked at that before the stream to see like where I had bought in index because I was like, oh, it's up, man. Did I make any money? I'm like, yeah, I made like $7. But the reason why was because every time I bought, and I was just dollar cost averaging in, it was at like a interim peak. It's like, seriously, what are the odds? What are the odds? It did hit 71. Oh, it probably did. Right now it's at 70,800. Let's see here. Let me go back to, I'm on a day. Okay. Does it say what the peak was? There's the all-time high. See, it says here. Okay, that's definitely not right. The high today is 70,291. Let me do a quick refresh and see if that updates, since that's wrong. Yeah, what is this? Price performance, low 67,000, high 70,291. That's not true. Not true at all. It's already above that. Coin market cap, you're on drugs. You are on some drugs. All right, but we are at 70,946. 929. Come on. Hit 71 again if it's already hit 71. Like I said, I can't find it here. And the thing is, when it says it hit 71, so a lot of these will be averages of multiple exchanges. So it may hit 71 at an individual exchange. I think I told you guys about one time. This was back when the top was like 63 or something, and then it ended up eventually going up to like 69, 68 or 69 between there. And I just put in like a sale at like right around that high. I think it was like at 63.5, I think is what I put in there. And we were at like 58, something like that. I mean, I'm doing purely by recollection, but this was with my previous exchange, which I'm drawing a blank. It's out of business now. This has to do with when they started, when the government became very difficult to work with, they went out of business. I'm trying to draw a blank. But anyway, they had a spike and my sale went through. And then guess what? I bought back in about 10% lower, like half hour later. It was a beautiful thing. So you'll see that occasionally at exchanges. This is why I always say it's really important that if you know there's a spot where you want to sell at, put that sell in, because you never know, it might hit it and then reverse, and you can always buy back in and put that sale back in at that level. Or maybe if you think it's going to go higher, you can always go higher. But yeah, it's I haven't really been doing much trading like that lately. I've just been riding it because I keep thinking it's just going to go up, and I'm trying to make sure I don't make some mistakes that I've made in the past, which is, trying to sell on the way up, but then there's no more opportunities to buy, or there's very small opportunities to buy as it comes back down. So kind of going to ride it this time a little bit more, but not write it down. Not doing that again. I am not doing that again. I will be out. The interesting thing is, so many people have learned their lessons from the last crypto run. Are there any more noobs that could be left holding the bag this time? Or is it just going to be like a massive capitulation this time as everyone tries to sell and get out of their bags? I don't know. It's going to be interesting this time. It's going to be really interesting. There's just so many YouTubers that are telling you, know when you want to get out. Do not ride it all the way down. All right, let's see. What else have you guys have to say? Give me a Smoky Dan. I used to keep losing my mouse. Then I discovered cheese. Panda Smith, like I said, okay, yeah, it hit 50 hit 71. 51. Hit 71. Go, 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 says Panda. It's not helping, Panda. Oh, it did help. Look at that. It hit 71. Just as I said that. Well, there you go. And I think I will end with that. It hit 71. That was what I was looking for. Coin market cap, you're drunk. Go home. Alrighty, guys. Well, it's now going back and forth, but yeah, I'm thinking by the end of the week we break through all-time highs, and maybe not completely off to the races before the election, but after the election. And so one thing that I I'm keeping up with people that are predicting this. And we all know the polls can only be so accurate. But based on what the polls say, the one good thing I'm hoping comes true out of those polls is that there is a extremely small chance, an 8% chance, that any state will be within 0.5%, meaning that it has to go to recount. That's a small chance. That would be a very good thing, so that we will know, maybe not the night of, but maybe within a few days, we'll know who the next president is going to be. And then everybody can, okay, trust me, markets, it doesn't necessarily matter who wins. It's knowing who won, so that that story is over. Everybody's going to be paying attention to that story and be distracted from anything else. Once that story is done, then people go back to what they were doing before and hopefully trading some crypto. So that's kind of the way I see how things will play out. But who knows? Maybe there'll be just so much momentum going into the election that it'll just kind of maybe slow down a little bit, but keep going. Who knows? Who knows? But in the meantime, I'm liking this. It's blown right through 71 on its way to 72. Look at that. 71,256, 71,280. It's like a rocket ship. Keep going, baby. When's it going to level off? It's got to level. Okay, it leveled off now for a second. But yeah, liking that a lot. And with that, I'm glad I could leave you with that. You guys all have a wonderful evening. And I think I'm probably just going to do some laundry and relax and take care of this stuff tomorrow, because I didn't get much sleep last night and I need to get a good night's sleep tonight because I got a lot of driving to do tomorrow. And the last thing I want to do is fall asleep on the road. So, all right, guys, thanks for being here. I really do appreciate it. You guys all have a wonderful night. The General is out. Good night, everybody.